Sri Matre Namaha, Sri Rama Raksha Sarva Jagat Raksha. Before getting into the topic, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you motivate us in bringing out this sacred content to you all. Today, I'm going to talk about the very important inner child wound, I can say, which is very deep, and very core of so many Indian women, especially Indian females, Indian divine feminines, because not only in India, they might be this wound in so many parts of the country, so many parts of the world, even. But as an Indian, I have seen this mostly. It is very common wound which is found mostly in Indian households. That is the wound of favoritism of boys over the girls. I have seen, like, we have seen most of the things which run around the boys always. Okay, this which runs around the boys will be the center of the world, and everything around the boys, the girls will be like everything around the side of the boys, of the corner of the boys, and if they'll be like somewhere far away, and the boys will always be the center of the whatever the world is, and the entire world is running around them, not side of them or something like that. It's always girls that their world becomes boys, and their center will always be boys, and their choices will always be boys, and they can't be their own center. They can't be the center of the world. They can't have their own choices. They can't take their own choices. They can't decide things by themselves. And it is like most common thing. Most of the females are affected in India. Almost, I think, like 98% of the females are affected by this. I am sure. Okay, if you are also experiencing something like this, let me know in the comment section below. This wound is a wound of the ancestral imprint of favoritism. So in most of the families, okay, in the most of the families, and also in my family, there will be like in my maternal lineage, it's always boys. It's always like boys over the girls. It's always like the men are always the priority, and the girls are like taken for granted, and they are not even taken as like a has they're not even be seen like there is some person is existing there. Okay, it's always the men. It always what is happening with the boys. It's always what is happening with the uncles and aunts and the fathers, and it's always about the masculine. There is no, the feminine especially, they behave as if that they don't have their own choice, they don't have their own voice, they don't have their own things. They always prioritize the men. It became so much in my maternal lineage that they started prioritizing men over the women, and they don't even consider the choices of the women. They don't even even ask for their opinions. It's like that. So it's always about the men. It's always about the masculine dominance. It's always about the being partial over the feminine. And my grandmother, she always used to be like and even I think it's not even her mistake. It's like they have been conditioned in such a way, the collective has been conditioned in such a way that we always look for they, even the women especially, they always prioritize men over their own needs. They don't take care of themselves. They always are treated in such a way. They always told things like that, that they always have to take care of the men. They always have to take care of all the things of the men. They always have to take care of the needs of the men. They always have to prioritize men. They always have to listen to the men. So they always try like they act like submissive. They always try like they don't have any choice. They don't have any opinion. They don't have to even consider themselves. They are always serve food for men, and even if they are not eating properly, they don't care about that, and they always think that only men should be fed properly because they are going out and they are working. Even if the women are also working in the family, but they are always prioritizing men because they always think that men are superior over women, and there is always like energetic imbalance, masculine and feminine energetic imbalance, which was happening in my ancestral lineage. And I'm sure that in most of the families which are listening to this, and most of the Sasit who are listening to this, they might have experienced this in the families, that there is an imbalance always. And most of the part of the countries and most part of the world is actually facing this problem, that there is an imbalance of the masculine and feminine. There is over masculinity. Even the females are behaving like a masculine. Even the females always prioritize men. Even the females always prioritize their masculine characteristics, their masculine energy. They always forget about the feminine. They always forget about the feminine nourishment. They always forget about the feminine needs. They always forget about themselves. They don't prioritize themselves. They don't consider their opinion seriously. They don't take themselves seriously. They don't take care of themselves seriously. They forgot about the self-love in the first place. That is the reason why there is an imbalance in the masculine and feminine. And always And if you are from the families like this, and it will become for more difficult for you, and if you are a star seed, then it will become even more difficult for you to experience and witness all these things. And sometimes it's like heartbreaking thing for you to be to experience that partiality from the females, especially from the females who are older than you, from your moms, from your grandmoms. It becomes very, very difficult for somebody like a star seed divine feminine child to survive in such a conditions, because feminine is all about her own care and her own needs and her balance of the masculine and feminine. Feminine always dances with the balance of the masculine and feminine. It's like the balance of the nature and the prakriti and purusha. It's like that. And if you are not in such places, then it becomes extremely difficult for you to survive in such a places. And especially even if you are a child, in your childhood you have experienced this, and it becomes a deep core in a child wound which you have to heal within you, and it will lead to so much of complications later in your life, and so much of blockages and even physical problems sometimes later in your life, because you are not prioritized, you are not given that much care and love which the men are getting in your family. And you always have to adjust and compromise for certain things, and so many things, not only certain things, so many things in your life, in every area of your life, almost in every area of your life, mostly. So coping up with such things, and be living with such things might be really very difficult. But because you are a feminine, you are a divine feminine, you are carrying a divine codes, you have to try and heal this wound, and it is your responsibility to heal this wound, ancestral imprint of favoritism, so that you can step forward and move forward with that balance in your life. You have to create your own balance in your life, and you have to see that the next generations to come, you are not doing that partiality, you are not carrying that wound, the wound which you are carrying from the ancestors. You have to burn and break it and heal it, so that you don't carry it forward, and you don't carry that in your DNA. You have to completely release and heal it from your DNA, so that it don't prolong from in your DNA, so that it don't carry in your DNA. You don't have such partiality codes in your DNA. Now your codes should become from partial codes to the balance codes. Now you have to give out the balance codes to the next generations to come. That is the gift you are giving to the mother, or that is the gift you are giving to your own self. That is the gift you are giving to your lineage, because whatever the lineage which was before you, they did not know how to do it. They were maybe dominated by the collective. They were thought by the collective that only you should be like this, men should be always superior to the women, or they have learned it from the collective. They might even they did not know that themselves, that they have to behave in certain way, or they got treated in such a partial way that they carried forward those wounds, and they did not know how to heal it, right? So there might be so many reasons for them why they were reacting in such a way. But now, as a divine feminine, as a star seed, as a twin flame, you have to take charge of your life, you have to take charge of your lineage, and you have to heal all these wounds which were there in your lineage. And you should make sure that you are not carrying forward this wound for in the next generations to come. Okay, you have to heal this wound completely, and wherever and however, if you have a chance to make that balance, equality in your life, you have to make it. You have to speak for yourself, you have to speak for the collective also. Sometimes you have to create balance as much as possible in your life. I'm not saying that it is 100% possible to eradicate this partiality forever from the places which we are in, but we can try our level best. We can speak wherever we have to speak, wherever necessary it is necessary to speak, that we shouldn't face this partiality, and there shouldn't be any kind of partiality, and we should have equal rights and equal importance for ourselves and the generations to come, and for the better world, for the better future, for the better humanity, right? So for the better earth system, for the better 3D reality. Okay, we have to create this in the 3D reality. We have to anchor our higher self balance into this 3D reality, and that is what we are here for. So we have to make sure that we do this as much as possible. We have to put in all our efforts, as much as possible, how much ever we have to try to do this, so that we can bring in balance, and we can bring in the divine codes in the 3D reality, in the earth reality, in the earth realm. Okay, so because of this wound, there might be so many problems which you might be facing. There might be root chakra and sacral chakra imbalance, and emotional safety. You might miss emotional safety. You might get so many inner child wounds because of this, and you might feel that you are not good enough because you are not prioritized. You are always partialized, and you are not taken care of. You are not seen. Okay, you might have the wounds of the feeling of not seen wound, or you might have the wound of the not good enough wound. Okay, you might have resentment, you can have the unfairness, and you might have experienced bias, gender bias, unfair treatment. So you have to heal all these wounds, and you might have guilt wound. Okay, so and you might be disconnected from your own femininity, because you might hate yourself for being treated in such a way. You might think that because you are a feminine, you are treated in such a way. It would be better if you might have not been a feminine, you might have been a man, like that. You might get some these kind of thoughts, because you have this kind of wound, because you have experienced partiality from since early childhood. Okay, so you might have this kind of mentality. You might develop this mentality that why you are a girl, something like that. Okay, so you have to heal this wound also, and you might have been disconnected from your own self, from your own femininity. That's the reason why maybe you might have you might face hormonal issues later in your life. You might face there is an imbalance in the masculine and feminine energy. You might suppress your feminine energy completely. You might not take charge of your feminine energy. You might not balance your feminine energy. Your feminine energy might not be in the balance. Okay, or you might have you disconnected from your own femininity. You might have disconnected from the divine mother. Okay, so all these things might have happened, and you might hate your own self. You might hate the females around you also. You might hate your own femininity. You might hate your own body. So you might have this hate issue around the femininity and feminine energy, around the feminine things which you are which you can see around you. So you might release this hate. You might you have to release this hate, resentment, and you have to from disconnection to you have to go to the connection to the feminine, to the divine feminine. And if you want to know how to connect with the divine feminine and divine mother, I have made so many videos about the divine mother, so that you can again establish the connection and balance with the divine mother, so that you can have the own connection with yourself. When you connect with the divine mother, you will develop the slowly you will connect with your own self, with your own femininity, with your own feminine energy. That is the reason why I have made so many videos especially about the divine mother and the goddess energy. Why I made so many videos about the divine mother and goddess energy is to bring you back into that connection with the divine mother. If you are in the connection with the divine mother, if you can establish the connection with the divine mother, slowly you will establish the connection with your own self, with your own feminine self. That is how you are going to balance your own feminine self. That is how you are going to balance the feminine energy in the collective as a star seed, right? So it is very important for us to connect with the femininity, feminine energy, especially if you are a divine feminine. It's become super damn important for you to connect with the feminine energy, so that you can connect with the cosmic mother, so that you can connect and with your own self. You can bring back that your own divinity, your own femininity within the collective, so that you can balance again bring back that balance in the collective of the feminine energy, so that there will be a dance of the masculine and feminine energy, not the dominance and superiority of the masculine or the feminine energy. So everything should be in the balance in the world, in the 3D world, in any dimension, right? So has keeping all these things in the mind, so we have our own role and our own importance, why we got this kind of a wound, so that we can learn and understand, release these kind of things, and so that we can bring back that balance aspect into the our own personal life, into our own personal lineage, and also in the collective, so that we establish that balance. That is the reason why we got this wound. You might have cursed yourself, you might have cursed or hated others also, the feminine also in the lineage, that these people are behaving in such a way, these people are doing these all such things, and you might have felt sad and depressed because of all these things which you have gone through. But you have to understand that you got this wound for the same reason why I've told you before, that you got this wound so that you can heal and release this wound, and you can bring back into your balance. You can come into your own power. That is the reason why you have chosen such families. Before, I used to hate myself. Before, I used to hate the feminines in my lineage. Before, I used to curse them also, even because for the way they have treated me. But then I slowly understood, and slowly I started forgiving them, and also I started forgiving myself, and started coming to balance. And I understood that I got this wound so that I can come back to my own feminine power, so that I can establish the deeper connection with the divine mother. If I did not have that wound, I wouldn't have established the deeper connection with the divine mother. And that wound also have served a purpose. I had served a greater purpose in my life. Before, I used to curse myself. Before, I used to hate myself. Even I used to hate divine mother so much. But now, when I look back after so many years, I understood that 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 wound also had a reason, that wound also had a purpose. It just did not have, was the universe did not wanted us to suffer. Okay, it did not, it wasn't punishing me. I thought that universe was punishing me. I used to go through so many hardships in my life, but no, it wasn't punishing me. It just was teaching me a lesson, so that I can come learn that lesson, and I can come back to my own power, so that I can come back to my own very beautiful feminine power, so that I can develop connection with the divine mother. So this is a major bigger picture in my life, which actually this wound has transformed into such bigger transformation in my life. So I hope you understand this. Don't hate yourself for this. Let go and release whatever you need to release. Do the inner work, do the shadow work, and release whatever you need, you can release, and heal whatever you have, you can heal in the ways, you know, you can, so that you heal the feminine lineage in your life, so that you can heal the ancestral imprint in your life, so that you can also come back into your feminine power, so that you can also develop the connection with the cosmic mother. So it is a very beautiful journey. Before I think we might initially not understand this journey, because it is very difficult. I honestly agree that it is very difficult. It's not that easy. It's difficult. It's too difficult. But you have that capacity, and you have that power within you, that you can transform yourself. You can transform, and you can turn the difficulty into very beautiful life. You can turn that difficulty into a blessing. Okay, so this is a blessing in disguise, which you might not understand in the beginning, in the initial phases of your journey, but later in your life, after so many hardships, and after learning so many things, after doing a lot of inner work and shadow work, and after healing yourself a lot, you'll come to a point that yes, because that thing happened, now I'm into my power. Because that thing happened, now you are into a connection with the divine mother. Because that thing happened, now you know that you have to treat everybody equally. Because that thing happened, now you know that how to behave, how to be, how to anchor the divine feminineness into the earth realm. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you like this video. I hope you like this discussion and this conversation, and let me know in the comment section below how you're handling this. Let me know in the comment section below how you're healing this. I would be very glad to know this, and I'm with you in this. If you're going through something like this, I know how it feels. I'm with you in this. If you need any kind of support, I'm available for you here. You can always reach out to me. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for all your blessings and love in the form of comments and likes and shares and subscribes. Thank you so much. Sri Rama Raksha Sarva Jagat Raksha Shri Mate Namaha.